Can everybody hear me okay? Yep. Okay. Okay. So I'll wait just a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. But if anybody has any type of questions on anything specific, this is 100% open, transparent. We love for people to understand the process of anything to do with the company Human Consciousness Support or MasterPeace in general. So this is a no holds barred town hall meeting in terms of you guys can find out anything that you are wondering about. It's pretty exciting. We're definitely growing all the way out through the, I guess you would, the truther movement. You know, big popular shows like Crow 777 and Patriot Street Fighter. And I know we've been on SGT for a while, Project Camelot now, and we're about to start some other big. I know we are with Flat Earth Dave. We did a couple shows with him, which were awesome shows, and you know, he's got a large group of people with what he presents, and you know, so we're just trying to get everything decentralized with the company because they are trying to get us and squeeze us every spot that they can. So we're but we got some exciting news. I guess we could get started. Is it 6 o'clock yet? Okay. And I believe Matt will keep up with the chat. Okay, yeah, and I know this week we're gonna do an interview with a gentleman that used to be a boxer, Dave or Nino Rodriguez. I might be saying his name wrong, but he's doing a show with Robert. They'll be going over stuff, so that's really good because those people have their own audiences. Every single person on Earth needs MasterPeace. We are seeing more and more no matter how bizarre it is, no matter how crazy and weird it is to think about, everybody's blood that gets taken, that's looking at underneath the microscope, has these graphene biosystems. That means you, whoever you are, me too. And the least amount of those in your body is what's going to determine if you get connected to the Internet of Bodies. So MasterPeace is what we try to do is get all the evidence and ways that we can prove that MasterPeace works, that we can find, and we're fearless about that. And we know that we are going to need that evidence as we move forward because they are trying to shut this thing down as hard as they can. David Icke, if you guys are familiar with David Icke, his person who does his work. She is a professional. She does documentaries. She's a professional at it. They have met with our live blood analysis expert, and they are right now building a documentary, which will be going over some well-known people's blood, what they see, the effects of taking MasterPeace, and that will definitely help. This last month, we have an ongoing right now trial with 8 autistic children in the country of West Malaysia. This is a non-invasive trial, so we're not going to be asking kids to pee in cups or anything like that. We've already have those studies that we're putting together right now that show the efficacy and what someone could expect from taking MasterPeace in terms of lowering the levels of the heavy metals. But what they will be doing on the study is observing the changes, the calmness, everything that you would expect from someone who has a lot of symptoms from being poisoned and being depoisoned. So we're very excited about that. And very good to be a part of stuff like that, right? So if you guys are wondering, when you know, MasterPeace, when we originally put it together, everybody, it was made for humanity. It was made for mankind, not the people who made $1 million. It wasn't done so I would get rich, or Matt Center or anybody else would get rich. It was made so that people could be depoisoned, and we didn't realize we were going to stumble upon the antidote to the graphene oxide situation, but we probably should have figured that out, considering it was positively charged like the other heavy metals and forever chemicals. So it probably was going to get removed as good as any other poison. So we probably should have thought about that. But we have also started we are starting a study, should be starting this next week. And the study is, we are pulling in, we don't know the exact amount because we're pulling in as many people as we can. And thank you, Bill. Give me just a second, guys. That's so good. Okay, apologize. I hope we can get 30 people, but we're going to take as many as we can. We are going to rinse and repeat the Blue Truth documentary study. So if you guys are familiar with the documentary called Blue Truth, they took people who had been PCR tests and that antigen test or had been COVID jabbed, but to be very clear, so that we all completely know the deal, the 27 people total that we've taken their inside the cell, which is intracellular electrical capacity, which is the most leading edge, cutting edge technology available on Earth, only done out of Germany. When we take everybody's levels, no matter if you've had the jab or not, no matter if you're male, female, lived over here, lived over there, you're vegan or not, or whatever lifestyle habits you have, everybody has graphene oxide, everybody has hydrogel. These systems are in the common products. Any skin lotions or deodorants, if you look on the back of them, you'll see polyethylene glycol, EDTA. That's the whole mRNA delivery system. Everybody has this stuff in them. And the idea is we're going to do the study where people walk into the woods, basically, where there's no MAC address. We're videoing this with a professional, with a lady that works with David Icke, and she is very excited. They are on MasterPeace and feeling better than they felt in a very long time. They're going completely bananas about it right now. They are beside themselves and one of our biggest advocates. So today we went out into the woods until we got into a clear MAC address. We're going to set up a little stand there, a little cheap $20 table, fold-out table, and we're going to bring people in, and we are going to write down their MAC address. Then we're going to put them on MasterPeace, because we know that if the graphene oxide level is lower in someone, the whole point of what we're doing right now, when we have all these shows and all this hype about the importance of getting graphene oxide out of the system, in reality, where the rubber meets the road, aren't we doing that so that we will not be able to be connected to the internet of bodies and all that kind of stuff? So what better way to prove MasterPeace is doing that than to take someone who has a MAC address and then all of a sudden they don't? So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, could you just explain that a little further? Just for those who've never heard about this?
Okay, so I'm totally not a technology person, but as I understand it, your phone or your laptop or your iPad has a specific MAC address. They've done a documentary, which I've watched, where they take a laptop as it's searching for MAC addresses, Bluetooth, I believe, and they are walking through the graveyard, and they're finding people that died in 2021, 2022 after the COVID thing that have MAC addresses. And so what they did on the Blue Truth documentary is they pulled people in to the woods where there originally was not a MAC address that they could scan for. So you're in the middle of the woods, you scan and you can't find any signal. And then they start walking each test subject into the area, into within 100 meters. And you guys can actually download this scanner if you want on your app on your phone. Go to your phone store and download the app B as in boy, L as in Larry, E as in Edward, BLE. scanner. Has like a 4.0 rating. Download that, and what you'll see is a lot of MAC addresses, and it's you got to go at least 100 meters, I guess, away from a MAC address. Yeah, BLE scanner, yes. To and so what we're going to do is we're going to put MasterPeace to the test and make sure we're still not selling snake oil, right? I'm not interested in it.
That's right. Thanks
Every
for
way that we can actually get evidence and analysis instead of me pretending to be one more know-it-all that, you can just take my word for it. That sucks, right? We've had enough of that.
yeah.
Okay. So, Peru, just so that you guys can know what these $53 bottles are going to that we're selling a bunch of nowadays. All right, what your guys' hard-earned money is going to is the MasterPeace. We looked at, we wanted to make sure to compensate the people because this is direct sales, right? So if you tell a friend about it, we want to compensate you 25%. Whoever brought you aboard, we want them to get 5%. So I get some people have a problem with people being a part of having a system where we're compensating people who are spreading the good news about MasterPeace, but it's technically not an MLM, and I'd rather give it to you guys and give it to Walmart to stock it on the shelves, right? So our system is that way. Now, if someone can't afford MasterPeace, no one's ever emailed me and said that they are completely broke and they've watched shows and if they could afford it, they would. And can I help them? We've gotten a ton of those emails. I don't believe anybody's been told no yet. Not to give anybody ideas, but I did have a gentleman from the country of Peru. He is a very well-respected gentleman down there in the Valley of the Incas. And he explained how these people had to get jabbed. He explained the whole story. Very touching. I looked this guy up, vetted him on Facebook. He travels doing festivals from one little community to the other. This guy has left America. His name is Sanan, Sanan. And he sets up in the country of Peru. When you're old and you're an elder and you can't take care of yourself or provide for yourself and pull food and whatnot, they abandon you. It's called abandoned elders. They have an epidemic of abandoned elders. And this guy builds small homes where communities where these people can support each other. And then he sets up schools. He has various schools that have up to 80 or 90 children that get a free education. And then they go to areas and have little festivals, and these kids will line up for hours just to get 2 free cookies. Really wild. So this guy, he's a really great guy, and he reached out, and so we are sending them their courier services because Peru is pretty much corrupt, getting things in and out. You got to know customs people, or you got to overpay unless you want all your stuff stolen. So we got to pay $1,200 to ship in 264 bottles to Peru. So we have to pay 5 bottles to give that stuff, and that is exactly what we're going to freaking do. And we're going to not stop that because anything like that is going to be serving good energy towards all that. And that's what we're all about, right? That's what we started this thing for, and we can't be any different than that. So, wanted to let everybody know that is ongoing. So this is a lot of stuff that we don't always get to discuss, and I know it's not always in the chats and whatnot. So I thought, man, I better write all this out and everybody can hear about it. But the MAC address study to me is going to be very, very, very big. So our ongoing study had some huge challenges and some very dangerous, risky situations. And so I don't even know if it's in the clear for me to discuss some of it. And so I'm not going to, because I don't want to make a mistake and say something I can't retract. But I will say we have We are all the way pot committed, and we will have most of the results for sure. And we are doing everything we can to get all the results. And you know, so we have good news today. So here's this. Listen to this, everybody. This is a first and only ever by a health supplement company, a nutraceutical company, anything like that. We have been approved today. We sent up Dr. Robert Young, put together a medical and scientific research article on the safety and efficacy of MasterPeace. The references that we provided were not like the low grade, I don't even know how to describe it. When they want to refer to ingredients that are in their formulas, but they're not talking about the source of their ingredients, the certificate analysis of those ingredients, how well those ingredients work together in their formula synergistically. They don't provide any of that information that you would probably really want to know when you're looking to see if a formula, what it is, how it works, everything else. So during our initial pilot study, we diagrammed everything and 4-page background on the people. We have not witnessed any negative side effects from MasterPeace, which makes a lot of sense since the only two sole ingredients they've had that we have is the highest sourced clinoptilolite zeolite that there is. It's the same zeolite that Dr. Andrew Kaufman is using in his micronized one. It's the same one that has beat the FDA in the late 90s. It's the same zeolite source that has petrochemicals analysis and everything that you would want to make sure is not in the zeolite, as well as plastics and mycotoxins and all kinds of things that you would want to make sure is washed out of anything that you're putting into a detox product. And we are the first and only company, period, that has a peer-reviewed study, which as of today has been approved and published through the ACTA. So we sent it up about 3 weeks ago. It usually takes 9 months to get approved. In the first 2 days that Dr. Robert Young sent it up to them, they had approved it for review. It's a double-blind peer-reviewed process whenever you're doing a peer-reviewed paper, which means that there is no way that the person Robert Young is talking to even knows who the 3 different peers that review it go through the references and make sure that the article is sound. So that process all usually takes up to 6 months to a year. We got it done in less than a month. There is good people out there and there's good places out there that wants to get information like this out to the world. So it is a first. It is unprecedented and it is a big deal. And when this ongoing study that we are getting finished up in a month, and at that point it will take, there's a lot that gets put together with these articles. There's professional charts, abstract methodology. You have to build the strongest references because that will also go up for peer reviewed. And so probably 1st of November, I would expect where everybody will have that peer reviewed article with all the findings. The findings that we have coming back are as good as can be. So
yeah, Matthew, I put the paper in the chat, but I want to clarify.
Oh yeah.
But actually, you can clarify what it is. It's a draft, basically.
Yeah, and that's if it's as long as it's the last draft, that's the one that they approved for publishing.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it just doesn't have some of the official stuff at the top. It doesn't say who it's by after all. So it's not an official copy or anything. So yeah, like November 1st for when they come out with that officially. Okay, but they approved it in no time. But so what's the delay? I'm just curious.
What's the delay with them publishing it after they do that?
Yeah. Why not just come right out with it?
Well, I'm ignorant to this process. I haven't done this before. I
Oh,
have no
heck, I
idea.
know. I'm just curious myself. So maybe.
I'll, when Robert first sent it up, he told me like, hey, it could take a week, it could take a month for them to decide that they're going to send it up for peer review. And it came back, like he sent it up on Friday and it came back Monday. He said, well, this is awesome. And then he said now it could take, hopefully it's ready by September, best case scenario, but as long as it's before 2025, we're doing pretty good. And now it's going to get put up before September. So, that's good that we have a peer reviewed medical, and it's going up in the medical scientific journal section. And it is an anomaly and unprecedented because the references that we have are referencing our product in a clinical trial and the results of the product from people that didn't change anything in their life habits or diet habits or anything. They just incorporated MasterPeace. Yep. So that's a big deal. We did patent our formulation process. You can't patent anything that's natural, so we can't patent any ingredients in MasterPeace, but we did patent the formulation process. It is available if anybody wants to go looking for it. I think that you will see it's, if for anybody that is that curious, it's one of the most beautiful processes that you could imagine. It's basically replicating Mother Nature and what Mother Nature does when it goes into a stress fit and it needs to break its own fever and do its own thing. And so it's pretty interesting. But we, oh shoot, I wouldn't know. Matt Senna could look it up though. It's trademark and copyright the first year. So when you trademark and copyright, it doesn't mean you got a patent number yet. I did see that comment. So after that, now it can't be touched anywhere in the world for 2 years, which is what you call getting an international patent. You want to do that so that people can't patent your stuff in a different country. If you go get a patent in America, they can turn around and patent the user's identical patent and do it in Canada and then start jacking it up. And then it makes us look bad when we're not doing anything wrong and they're just trying to destroy the product. So we wanted to protect ourselves against that. That was the main thing.
We definitely will get to questions in the chat. I just want to make sure people don't feel like they're being ignored or anything. We'll get to the questions, I'm sure. Matt, there's just a couple. I can read them off to you, or you can scroll and find them.
No, go ahead. Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's just go back to the beginning and get up to date. Pardon, people. If you want to raise your hand too, that's fine. Does MasterPeace eradicate E. coli with a UTI infection?
So MasterPeace is not going to bind to bacteria. I would say the super duper small clinoptilolite is going to bind to toxins and remove them from the body, which is going to clean up your inner terrain. It's going to make your body be able to hold its pH and all the other things that it strives to do with homeostasis. And it will make it where your inner environment is much healthier and will not have things like E. coli or anything in it. So it will definitely help improve the terrain, the environment with it, but it's not going to directly go after and take out E. coli. So if that makes sense.
Actually, I think that was it. If I'm missing something, was it just the liquid MasterPeace and not with Master Restore also? Okay, yeah. So about the paper. Was it just the liquid MasterPeace in the clinical trial, our first one? Was it just? Yeah.
No, in the first one, okay. For the first 3 weeks, it was just the MasterPeace. Then after the first 3 weeks, which is 21 days into the study, one person began taking larger sized zeolite with the MasterPeace. One person started taking it semi-consistently, and one person never started taking it. So when we're looking at the results of the beginning of the study, or what they call the baseline of the study, and 35 days, the person who had the most decrease, weirdly enough, was the person that only took MasterPeace. The person that took it the person who actually took the powder consistently had the lowest amount, which we didn't understand, but it could just be those three, that's why you got to do a larger study too. So, and that's kind of what that was that. So,
Okay, and then there was one more.
and it was a 5-gram scoop of zeolite. It was, of the same zeolite that's in the Master Restore, but there was not fulvic acid in it, which would be the Master Restore product. That product was not out yet, so it was not the Master Restore product. Yeah.
Any updates on MasterPeace for soil purification?
Yeah. The Master Restore that we have right now, it hyper alkalizes water to about 9.3. It also exponentially jumps up the electrical capacity, the millivolts, which is really important when you're talking about electrons and true energy. And so when you have the fulvic acid, which is a highly digested land, great broad spectrum, that is truly what you guys would want to use as a companion product to your organic farming practices. Whatever organic farming practices that you're using right now, if you think that like humic or humates with your fulvic acid is doing a good job, I can show you how it isn't. And it would be wise to take the Master Restore along with it, which a container of Master Restore you could mix down into 10 or 20 gallons of water and just spray it over your crops once a month in your soil, the top soil. And that's all it would take to actually neutralize and make inert all the incoming chemtrails that are always coming down from the air. So the air is always contaminating your soil. Even if your soil starts off clean, by the time your crop's ready, it's not. And just spraying that Master Restore on there is the way to go. Diluting it down and using it for your crops, you will notice the difference. You'll actually get a lot bigger yield too, because it's kind of like you're protecting the cell from degeneration and your vegetables and whatnot. So your yield is going to go way up. Well, the FDA had decided that in our special case, clean ocean water was a drug. And so they did not give it back to us. And it wasn't nice. So we sent them letters and things telling them they're not nice people. And they weirdly didn't care, I guess. Strange as it sounds. So it's really interesting when you have a group of well-intentioned people who are really that are passionate about creating something that's really going to make the difference that we're seeing MasterPeace make. And we're only going to get a lot bigger. So it's in these situations where they, like with the zeolite almost a year ago, when Nikki, or Terry, everybody knows her as Terry, the health holistic coach, when she came to me and said, I get this question about the zeolite and we can't answer it. And I thought that we had the best zeolite because I had been a part of vetting it. And it's funny because in that pressure and in that moment of looking a little bit more, we found a much better zeolite. And it was even worth us spending 10 times more money than what we were spending, which I thought was already, we were trying to make this thing feasible for all of humanity, right? Not just the millionaires. So, what we ended up finding in that whole process was a much better MasterPeace because the zeolite is that much better. And so if anybody would have came to us 6-8 months ago and told us that there was sea minerals out there, which, you know, when we're talking about marine plasma, ocean water, purified ocean water, I know it's all different names that basically, you know, purified ocean water, and maybe different parts of the ocean, dead seas and all that kind of stuff. But if anybody would have told me that there is the same harmonic balance, the same size minerals, but a more concentrated formula, and one with a much more electrical capacity. And now that I've gotten a chance to learn every single thing that Michael Coe, the founder of Forest Biotech, could teach me, and I was a sponge and soaked it up and always gave it back to Matt Senna so he could soundboard back to me and we could all grow and, you know, put our minds together on this. And you know, what we ended up unraveling is MasterPeace now, so that you guys can understand it the best and possibly explain it to people, the simplistic that works real well. We all know how you want things to harmonize, right? And be in balance. Everything needs to be in a balance. So when you're having a formula that you're taking and introducing into the body, what MasterPeace is molecularly, right? So you have millions or billions of molecules inside of a cell. So molecularly, MasterPeace is like 99.9 some percent identical to your extracellular fluids, which is your interstitial fluid and blood. It is mineral water. It is isotonic mineral water. Okay, the only difference is nanometer sized detoxifying mineral of zeolite, which has a strong negative charge, which is going to bind to the toxins and remove them. So what MasterPeace now is molecularly, which I just described, identical to a perfectly healthy human, but now also electrically in the millivolt range to a very healthy human, which we don't see humans anymore with millivolts at like negative 115. And I know that price doesn't sound like anything to a lot of people, but right now the average person's millivolt range is down to like negative 70 from negative 115. Means you're a lot less electrical, means you got a lot less energy, means you have a lot less energy. You know, your waters and minerals and your electrical magnetic beam. And right now you're not very electrical. And what MasterPeace is it harmonizes when you take it. Your body recognizes it as a perfectly healthy human. And we believe it's working a lot better than it was before. So we're all, that is a big change that Robert Young has helped us with to get it tweaked just a little bit better. So electromagnetically, it's a little bit stronger, quite a bit stronger, exponentially stronger actually in that way. And we still have the same amount of clinoptilolite in there. So we are in Canada. Unfortunately, Health Canada has told us they don't want us selling MasterPeace in Canada. So we're going to honor that with them. We've gone to our legal team, law teams, and gotten all the advice that we can before we made a decision on how we were going to proceed. So the products that are available in Canada is going to be Master Restore. That product is approved in Canada. And also, we do have MasterPeace for pets in Canada. So that is available for your pets. It is formulated for pets. We did look at what is best for our pets. It does have the same formulation as what's best for adults, so for people. So what's best for people is the best what's for pets too. So it's the same formula. It is the same price. It is the same. It is MasterPeace, but it is for your pets, and that's available in Canada. But just buying MasterPeace for human consumption won't be available. And that should be this week. So we've been working on that, and that's already ready to go up at the fulfillment center. So we should all see that. And then when people go to order, It will let them know if they're trying to order regular MasterPeace. It'll show that it's not available in Canada, but it will, I believe, send them over and let them know that if they do want to get it for their pets, it is available. So I believe we'll have something to that extent.
Oh, can you just so people know, Master Restore available to Canadians, is that currently live on our website?
No, I don't think it is it?
I don't think it is.
No, but it will be
Okay.
in a week. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
We didn't want Paul and the developer having to make a bunch of changes they're gonna have to make again. So
Oh,
we just
yeah,
kind of, till we knew our move, we held off.
I get it.
Yep. But we want to make sure we don't leave people or pets behind for sure. We had to have something that was gonna be sustaining, right? So we can't piss off regulatory bodies when we don't have any control of anything quite yet. That's to not poke the bears, right? Doesn't make any sense to.
I think we're pretty up on the chat, so you can tell us any other big announcements. I actually think there probably are some more. I just know we're all so busy. So anything else you got?
Let's see.
I don't know what we can and cannot talk about too,
Right.
Well, we had some wins that maybe we can't talk about. We had some losses that maybe we can't talk about.
You know, we our losses, we kind of see coming. And so we have a bunch of forethought thinkers that know that there's a system out there that is not going to be too excited about something that helps people feel better and live better and buy less things that are medicines and different things like that. So, we're when they go to cut off the supply line, we go get 3 more supplies. And when they force your issue and make you go look, all of a sudden you find better ingredients than you even thought existed. So it's kind of like it gets thrown in their face because they force you to find an upgrade. They force you to find what you didn't even know was there. And, they put you in a better position where if you have regulatory bodies that are giving you special attention and holding up your products as they're letting it in for everybody else and making up nonsensical excuses, and there's nobody to even answer to, but the whole time you're solidifying and getting a better source ready, then that's the game we're playing. We know that they are I'm not a big conspiracy theory. I used to be. I'm a researcher of things. I like to deal with cold hard evidence, and I don't have evidence of specific people or groups. I have a lot of coincidental weird crap. Like the same week, PayPal, Stripe, all these places squeeze you at the right same moment and treat you differently than what they usually do. And
Right. Yeah, we mentioned before is coordinated. These financial limitations from the payment processors, it seemed very coordinated. Along with the FDA at the same time, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we're bringing out a product that has more ironclad, provable, quantifiable evidence than what the system has seen a company do before, and it reduces the amount of toxins in the body. And it appears that they want people with toxins in the body, and they're not really for MasterPeace. So we have to build up and watch ourselves, do our best. That's what we do. So but we do have a lot going on. I believe we've had a couple losses this last month, but I believe they're already leading to huge upgrades that we didn't think were going to happen. Having to come up with more studies and stuff. We want to find every way we can to prove that MasterPeace works, and we will challenge the efficacy and the effectiveness of MasterPeace openly and openly show the results, and other companies won't do that. They won't even put their products to the test. They just will spend their money on their marketing. And we haven't done that before. We haven't had that type of thinking. What we want to do is we want to find new ways to show why the testimonials are pouring in that say what they say.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
I'll post our testimonial links in the chat for all the different libraries of those.
yeah, they're not going to be able to go to a specific manufacturer and shut down MasterPeace. They're not going to be able to go to a certain account and cause those problems. And this thing was put together for the highest good of humanity, so that people could think better if they were being depoisoned. And we knew that we had something special when people first started taking MasterPeace. And so it became pretty clear that this was going to be unavoidable. You know, so what we're getting in terms of pressure. Looking at this, I wrote down basically everything. We do have an extra added structuring process. And if anybody here is aware of structuring water or formulas together, you always want to structure the formula together at the end. But if you can start off with the own ingredients when you're talking about a liquid formulation structured. So we now have separate ingredients that are structured before they come together, and then they're structured, and it's so however this can be fine-tuned we have. And so I'm just letting everybody know it's everything that's been put together on it is structured the whole way. We also will
had a
have
question that relates to that. Oh,
sorry.
We had a question that relates to that, but don't forget what you're saying.
Yeah.
FLFE, is it still on the label?
Yes.
Okay, so that's like an energetic treatment, but I think if the water's structured, then it's going to be more receptive to that energy. So
Yeah.
water structuring is more proven and fundamental, and it's going to help all energy treatments work well with the formula. So the structuring is at the core of how we treat MasterPeace, and just my 2 words on that.
Yeah, I think it definitely speeds up what I call the life death cycle, or what some people call the fermentation process. The same structuring device they just put into the world's largest kombucha tap room, a friend of mine, and it has completely shifted how fast her kombucha ferments. She's had to redo how she does her process because of it. Yeah, we got little videos of that, and and that's a woman and her husband and their 5 kids working in a 20,000 square foot facility, raw ingredients, and doing it. So
Yeah, I've seen the factory. That's great news. So they got a water structuring device. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So just so that we're clear, we have the study with 8 autistic children in West Malaysia. We have David Icke he doesn't normally kind of get involved with products. He is getting involved with this in terms of the documentary and different stuff with him individually that they're going to be airing. But his documentary person, who's amazing, is way on board with us and will be the person doing the MAC address study, all the video stuff on it. So it will be very well put together. So that will be awesome. You guys there's tons of people that are involved in this system. I believe we got well over 50,000 families on MasterPeace. We got the ones in our system, and then all the white label people too. And all that money is going towards studies so that we can prove MasterPeace works, because MasterPeace is getting attacked. We're gonna get attacked. We're not gonna be able to avoid it. And we're gonna need all the proof we can get as we move ahead, right? We need all the truth that we can get on our side. So it's going towards that and things like Peru. So I wanted everybody to be kind of know what it is, so that you don't think I'm getting yachts. That's not what any of this is all about. And gosh, there's a lot going on in my head, and I just don't think I can talk about a lot of it. So all right, if there's any questions, we try to make ourselves available. And if there's any any questions with affiliate stuff or any process, anything to do with MasterPeace. We really want to still be a 100% transparent company and an available company for everybody as we build this thing up. So for the much cheaper water one. What's the limit question?
No, she's just wondering about water structuring devices you like. I mean, I know you got the water vortex magnetizer. I don't imagine you use that for MasterPeace. I don't even know. But that was kind of a cool unit. It was just two plastic bottles, and you just kind of do a little thing, and it creates a vortex, and it goes through 6 neodymium magnets, which are really strong. So you want a magnet and a vortex, and that's pretty as high quality, it seemed to me. But analemma, a water wand, is a little thing you stir your water with, and that works quite well too in a proven clinical way. Mhm.
And it's pretty cheap. It's less than $200, and it's proven to work.
There's a whole home unit, which is quite expensive.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah,
2,000.
but you can really improve your health, actually, I think, in a noticeable way if you really commit to drinking that analemma stirred water. Within about a month, I think you can notice an improvement for most people.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Is there any question, anything on the chat? Anything?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I got the watermark over here from Dr. Young, and we're getting this from well water. And somebody just asked, I have well water that I might need to purify, question mark. Well, I have decided to do that, but the well water is way better than the water in town, whatever they're doing to treat it. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Next month, we will probably be talking a little bit about some of the ways that we have spread out decentralized part of the infrastructure that should be complete by then. And once that's set up, we'll talk about that new part of it. So that'll be big. And then we'll be real close to having the ongoing study right now be finished up with the charts. So, okay. Awesome. Well, it's late where I'm at, so I didn't want to be on any longer than I had to, but there's no questions or anything like that. I'm ready to wrap it up.
We'll take testimonials too. But we got plenty. Yeah, maybe if anybody would like to share, or we can kind of do a little mini health call, because we want to just make sure that you get a chance to air your health concerns when it comes to something that we can actually answer regarding our products, even at the town hall.
Yeah. If there's a question in there about any of that, if there is, we are a humble and modest group. We like to always stay 100% open mind. We need feedback on anything that we can. We are normal people that knew that something needed to be done, and we just kind of started coming together. We thought we had something really good with MasterPeace. So as you guys see anything that can be improved upon, we really ask you that you let us know. Or if something's difficult in the system and it can be changed and made better, let us know so that we can get on top of it. We want this to be as easy as it can be for everybody. We want a good self-feeding system. Also in the next month, I don't want to say this and not happen though. We're supposed to we should have the time where when you guys want to, if you guys are owed $100 in affiliate stuff, that you can get 2 or 3. I'm trying to figure it out, so I don't want to say yet, but where you guys can probably get 3 bottles of MasterPeace for $100. So I'd rather you invest in your health. Our health is our health is our wealth. Our wealth is our health, right? That our wealth, yes, our wealth is our health. So, I'd rather make it feasible so that people can, if they want to get more MasterPeace, that's a way to do that. So we should have that ready next month. But besides that,
knowledge is coming with other website overhauls. Paul is just a machine. with all the technical stuff. So we get just a kind of a facelift or something, or, you know, definitely to the back office, with the affiliate program, something like this. It's coming very soon. It'll have to happen at the same time, for what Matt just was talking about to be feasible. There's been some infrastructure problems or something, where we needed, more changes to be able to put in where you can, purchase, from your affiliate credits.
Yeah.
So it's coming with a lot of website updates, and so that just maybe helps explain why we haven't been able to offer it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but we change the stuff as soon as we're always on things. We're always upgrading. We look at the biggest, most important thing to do next, and we tackle it. And we have the greatest team, and we constantly have great people coming and finding MasterPeace. And it's an awesome time to actually hear about people feeling and living better lives, having better days. And we hear about it constantly. And I believe that when we hear about it, it's probably happening to 5 or 10 other people that aren't taking the time to express a testimony. So it really makes us, that's what this is all about. I believe if people can think better, they can be better critical thinkers. You feel better and you have more energy, then you're affecting everybody in your community better. I have more tolerance for my kids than I would be if I didn't have as much energy as I have. So I think it affects all of us being depoisoned. We're all better humans when we're not held down, right? We all know that sure seemed like something was set up against us in terms of being mass poisoned. So it's always a good idea. They obviously, maybe it sure seemed like they didn't mind us getting poisoned, and it seems like we live a lot better lives not being poisoned. MasterPeace does that affordably for people. All right, guys. Anything that you have, get involved on our Telegram group, our Facebook group. We let all kinds of crazy posts on our Facebook group. I look at that, I'm like, whoa, wow. So, we don't block anything. We like to talk about it all, I guess. So
I'm trying my best.
but yeah, I'd
Keep it
rather have a bunch
digestible.
of community of people talking about the craziest stuff so that we can all sift it through it and find out what we were interested in. So,
Yep. Maybe if
awesome,
you
guys.
posted recently, you don't have to post again the same day. Just a suggestion. Thanks.
Yeah. But much love, everybody. I appreciate your guys' time, energy, and focus and putting it here with MasterPeace and seeing the good that it can do for humanity and being involved the way you guys are, no matter what level of contribution that you're giving. Alrighty, guys. Blessings, blessings.
It's my job to cut it off, but I never want to do that because you always say thanks and stuff. Okay, blessings. Bye.